everybody, welcome back to the channel. I think this is video number 4, so I don't know that I'm making any improvement, but today I'm going to show you my recipe for a potpourri. So a potpourri meaning something that you just let simmer all day long, and the only purpose for this recipe is to take the place of air spray. I'm looking at the hummingbirds outside. Air spray, like air freshener, Febreze, whatever, or maybe a candle if you didn't have a candle or felt like you didn't want to use one. Maybe you have a glut of apple cores and you don't know what to do with it. Some people like to make vinegar or wine or just compost with their apple cores, but I have an apple core here, and one of the kids ate the actual apple. And I'm gonna start with some water. It's just tap water out of my kitchen sink. And so I don't think you could, it doesn't make any difference what kind of water you used at all. But I have a well at my house. It's not city water. There's no anything added to it except for what comes out of the ground naturally, minerals and things like that. So I don't know how much this is, maybe a quart of just cool, clean water. Put it in my crock pot shell here. Oops, it's splashy. It opened way more open than I meant for it to. Usually it comes out without so much fuss. So I think the word potpourri, I've heard this, and I really should have researched it. I heard the word potpourri actually means something like stinky pot or smelly pot, and that it was used way back in the day, like, you know, back in the 1500s or maybe even earlier than that, over the fire. They would get it warm and let it just go all day long, because back then they lived with no running water for bathing, and they had, you know, animals very nearby. Sometimes they lived in the same quarters with animals, ducks, chickens, pigs, whatever. And so, you know, people and animals can start to make their own aroma. And so these things, these potpourris, were meant to help with that smell a little bit. So I start with water, and I put in my my apple core. And there goes the dogs. Anyway, you can use apple peelings too. A lot of people have those after they peel their apples. You could use pears, you could use orange rings, you know, like the butt end of the oranges when you're going to slice them that you might cut off, orange peelings, whatever. But I'm trying to make this one smell kind of fall. So it's going to be apples and cinnamon and things like that. So speaking of cinnamon, I have these cinnamon sticks here. And I bought these in bulk, and I bought them for this purpose, but also I can use them for embellishing Christmas gifts or putting on wreaths or things like that for any season, really. And there's some smell to them. I've had these for a while, and they mostly start to give up their aroma as they soften and heat. So right now they're just a hard stick, but they will soften and really open up. So also I like to put in something called Star Anise, and it looks like that. It has a real spicy scent, so I have some of those. Put those in. I have some whole cloves. You know, I don't think that I ever saw my mom use whole cloves ever, except when I was a kid, except to put in ham. You know, at Christmas, when she would make a Christmas ham, she would cover it with, I think she used honey, and she'd score the skin of the ham, and she'd poke these cloves inside. So that was about all we saw done with it. Then I've got some ground allspice, looks like that, and got it in a cup already. Just like to be able to see how much I'm actually putting in. I'd say like a teaspoon of each. If you like 1 scent better, do that scent more. So allspice is a little strong. I didn't do a whole lot. Then I've got some nutmeg. My husband doesn't like the taste of nutmeg in his cookies or anything that I make. This doesn't matter, but I think that's odd that he picked that scent that he didn't like. but he does. He doesn't care for it. So in goes the nutmeg. He's not home. And ginger. Ginger is really good. Oops, I forgot, just started to do what I said I wasn't going to do. Ginger's in here. Put that in there. And then I've got cinnamon, my very favorite. I know I put the cinnamon bark in there, cinnamon sticks, but I also want to do some ground cinnamon because it's my favorite. Ginger and cinnamon I think are my favorite in this. Put that in there, a whole bunch of it. And the last one is cardamom. This is expensive, but thank goodness a jar lasts forever and ever, amen. You don't have to buy it, but maybe twice in your lifetime. Unless you make, maybe there's some people that use a lot of this in their cooking, like if they're from another area than I am. I like to, speaking of which, date my bottles when I open them. So here's one, this is a good one. The nutmeg, I put it says 9/20. So that means I opened it September 21st. I don't pay any attention to what it says for expiration. I pay for what date I opened it. I pay attention to what date I opened it. And if when I open it and take a sniff, I can really smell that particular season, or let you know if you in fact do still have what you think you have and it's not lost all of its scent. So then I would give it a good stir. We'll go over. Give it a good stir. I wonder if I can. Yes, I can. All I have to do is pick up the camera. Boom. But I can't tell what you see. There we go. So there we go. Give it a good stir. Put it on the crock pot. I put it on low until I get myself a nice low simmer. And then I crack it down to warm, where it's not really even cooking, it's just staying warm. And the house smells lovely. The whole entire house, just as if you're baking whatever type of things that you put in. And really, you could do anything. You could go out to your garden and pick like sage or rosemary or anything that you like, that maybe you like in candles. You could put vanilla in here. I haven't done that before, but anything you like, and it's natural. There's another point I wanted to make. When it's spent, you've used it all up, put it in a jar. And you never have to throw this away unless it starts, if you don't refrigerate it, it will get moldy because it's food. And you can just keep it and reusing it, and you won't have to use all those herbs again. Get a load of this refrigerator up.